Welcome to My Decadent Life. My name is Jennifer. In today's video, we're going to be doing a fullish face of my favorite Beautycounter products, and I'm going to be letting you also know which products from Beautycounter that I don't really like and recommend. So Beautycounter is doing a 20% off for the month of April 2020. So right now to the end of the month, 20% off for anybody who is making their first purchase. So I think that they identify you through your email, you know, that you would never have purchased with that email before. A couple exceptions, I believe, as far as some new products that just launched, but it does say that in the details. So if you are interested in purchasing something, make sure to look for that 20% off, because that is a really great deal for a first-time customer. All right, pushing record, and we're just gonna do this. I have not put makeup on in a week. I'm gonna try to keep my chattiness to a minimum because this video is not going to be so much about like what's currently going on. This is gonna be about some of my favorite Beautycounter products. So we are just gonna get started. Disclaimer, I am a Beautycounter consultant. I have been one for about 2 years. I really like Beautycounter. I tend to be pretty chill with my Beautycounter consultant-ness. I do not spam anybody. I do not send mass Facebook messages to anybody. I have a little group on Facebook, and then I do post about Beautycounter on my Instagram and my Facebook page as well, and talk about it some in my salon. But other than that, you guys know I use it on, on YouTube here. But you also know that I love a ton of other companies and products. So I will be using my favorite Beautycounter products, but I'm going to talk about the products from Beautycounter that I don't love and that I don't use. But I do have some of them here, and I'm going to show you because I do sometimes still use them. But I'm going to be very transparent during this video. So we're going to start with eyes. And I wanted to do a really pretty spring look. And I'm thinking outside of the box a little bit because I love the Beautycounter blushes, and I have done this before. This is the one in the color Nectar. This is a limited edition package. And it looks like this, and it has a really pretty sheen to it. And so we're going to use this in conjunction with the Beautycounter. This is the classic palette that looks like this. So we're going to use a little bit of this over the top of that Nectar, because that Nectar really does have, and I know it's kind of hard to see, some gold shift to it. My eyes are prepped with my usual, my Thrive and my PYT. I'm super bummed because I had talked to you guys a little bit about wanting to do a PYT video, and I just don't think it's going to happen right now. But again, we're not going to talk about all of that stuff right now. We're just going to forge ahead. We're going to prep our crease. This is the color right here called Suede. I'm taking a big fluffy brush. This is my number 16 brush from Wayne Goss. And I'm going to do like I always do and just sort of tilt my head back so my eye naturally kind of opens up without me having to raise my eyebrow too much. This feels all very crazy to me. Seriously, a whole week without any makeup on. But I am very excited to be filming. You guys will definitely hear my little girls. They are out cleaning the living room with their dad. I know I've been seeing a lot of people making amazing amounts of progress, like organizing their houses, and ours has not been one of those. We've gone backwards, actually. So now I'm taking, this is the Beautycounter crease brush, and in full disclosure, I would never use this in my crease. I find that it's too dense for me. Even if I'm trying to concentrate the product really well, all I get is too much of a streak, but I love it for under my eyes. It has enough mobility and enough denseness that it really is good for lining, but also kind of creating like that smokier look under the eye. And I'm just going to sort of connect that with that corner up there. I just got a glimpse of my eyebrows, and I am going to clean a few of these like big offenders up. The last time I did my eyebrows, instead of waxing them, because my salon, I just felt like everything was so chaotic. I didn't even have time to wax my eyebrows the last few days I was there. The last time I did my eyebrows, what I did was I just shaved them with like my dermaplaning razor. And when they grow back, truth be told, they grow back way like well, like coarser on the end, and I find that they're so much more noticeable. So that's great in a quick, like in a pinch, but the grow out on that is way worse. Then I'm going to take this Refer number 14. It's kind of little, pretty pointy, and I'm going to go into the color right here called Sable. And I'm just going to intensify that outer V and run it also down, but probably just halfway down. So we're going to get a little bit more drama, but we're going to stay really close to that same like tonal color. I'm going to look at myself in my viewfinder because I find sometimes I deepen that, but what I need to make sure I do is grab my bigger brush and almost blend a little bit of that depth back up so that that hooded part doesn't look so like prominent there. I feel like that even kind of made a difference. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm just like really barely touching, but wanting to make sure that I kind of like blow that area out. So instead of having so much like highlighted brow bone skin hanging over that and eating it up, it looks like that corner comes up a little bit higher compared to like where we are over there still. All right, and then I'm taking just a little bit more of that PYT concealer, and I'm really gonna press like a fresh layer right onto my lid. These are definitely my absolute favorite kinds of colors for the spring. And we did just have a snowstorm this weekend. I mean, we knew it was coming. It was all over the news. It was all over our weather reports, but I think we were all in denial until it happened. But today the sun is shining and almost all of the snow is already melted. So we're all feeling happy that the snow is on its way out again, because we definitely need that sunshine for sure. Okay, so this is what we have now, and this could be done, but I really want to amp it up. I'm going to use a little bit of this Too Faced glitter glue. I'm pretty sure that this is either like repackaged or maybe even discontinued. I also have one by NYX. And it's like an eyelid primer, but it stays so sticky and it works so great for when we go into this color right here called Penny. And Penny is truly just a mica topper. And it looks like that. So you don't have to put this over anything, but I prefer like the payoff when it is over another color. And just to clarify, Beautycounter does responsibly source their mica. They actually did like a whole mini documentary, not like a giant, like not like a Tiger King documentary by any means, but they did like a little Zoom video on the issues with mica. All right, and so then I'm taking that color and I'm gonna press it just right on that center to create like essentially like a spotlight. So I don't want to cover up all of that coral, but I really want it to pop when I blink my eyes. And just one more thing about this topper. This is the finger that I used to put the glitter glue down with. This finger has none. So you can see that even when I'm picking up the product, if you want to pick up more product, if you use a finger that has a little bit of that primer on it, it will pick up way more product. And then like this is where I swatched, you know, just without any extra. And then this is a little bit of where I have that primer. That is the difference in the payoff you can get from no primer, no sticky base to primer, sticky base. If you wanted to put this down all over your lid and get a really impactful look, putting it down on a glitter glue like this and then really making sure you're pressing it in and condensing it to that one spot, you can get a really full coverage look. But otherwise, you'll just get a really pretty shimmery topper look. And I think they're both gorgeous. It's just a matter of how you want to, you know, implement using that product. So as I'm looking at it, I think I want to take a little bit more of Nectar. So that's this color. And just kind of put that right in the middle underneath where I have it on the top. But I probably won't put any glitter down there because anytime I've tried to put glitter down there, no matter what, it moves all around. And now into skin. So Beautycounter has two complexion products. One is their Dew Skin, which is a tinted moisturizer. I do really like that in the summer, but now I have a couple other tinted moisturizers that I probably like better. So we'll see how they compare this summer when I end up using them more. And then their Tint Skin. So this is the one that's probably closest to my coloring right now. This is in the color Sand. I really like this product. I really like this formula. I wish they did have a few more shades. For instance, I have Linen, Sand, and Honey, and I kind of bebop between the three of those, whether it's the dead of winter, kind of my spring fall, and then my middle of summer shade. I think they have 12 colors, and they do go fairly deep, but I think that they should probably have 24 colors. They should have like a color in between every color they have. They do comment that their colors are supposed to be flexible, and I think that they are. I think that they do kind of like warm up to the rest of your skin tone. But let me just kind of see here. So this is Sand right now. Oh, it might be. See, now it's looking really warm on me. So I think what I'm going to do is mix Sand with a little Linen. I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit. Here, I'm going to show you on my arm how different those two colors are. So it's Porcelain, which I'm not showing you right now, Linen, Sand, and then Honey. Like, that's a pretty big difference, don't you think? A huge difference. So I'm just going to mix these two together. And then I think that'll be a good match for me. But for everybody else who doesn't want to buy two foundation colors, that's kind of a huge pain in the butt, don't you think? And I have worn them and just gotten away. If I wear Linen, I just bronze a little bit more, but I prefer to have a closer match, and that goes for me being like a light neutral. If I struggle to find a match, I'm not talking about any other skin tones, like how hard it is for them to find a match. So I'm really hoping Beautycounter amps up their colors because they're always talking about inclusivity. And I mean, you can talk about it as much as you want, but you also gotta show us, you know? So Beautycounter is working on, I think we're gonna see more and more improvements as far as sustainability goes. Like, this is just pretty traditional, what do they call that? Like soft touch packaging. But as far as like a lot of their skincare, any of their new products have been rolling out in like newer, more sustainable style packaging. So I have a feeling as they like continue to update things, we'll see even better packaging updates coming out. So concealer. We're not going to use a Beautycounter concealer today. This is a great formula. This is an expensive product, but the colors are so off for me. So this is light. I will show you on my hand. And another thing that I dislike about this product is that it's like a clicking pen. And like, look, now I have a ton of product that just came out because what was already kind of stuck on there creates like a paste. So I actually have washed this brush successfully, you know, just like you would your makeup brushes, and that does help, but I find that I have much less control over the application coming out of this little brush. I hate that it's on that little brush. And look at how warm this color light is, and really truly like how dark it is. I would not call this light. I find it to oxidize a little bit once it's on my skin, which I'm okay with that as long as like there's an ability for me to adjust the coloring. So I'm going to show you this compared to my Ilia True Skin in Chicory and Yucca. Beautycounter Light is probably pretty close to Yucca. This is Yucca. So Beautycounter Light is probably pretty close to Yucca in depth. And then this is Chicory. And Beautycounter does have Fair. I don't have Fair right now. I'm going to use Chicory under my eyes. I don't have Fair right now. Because what happens is those tips get so gummed up, I get frustrated with them, and end up finding that I don't even really get as much use out of them as I should for how expensive as they are. I could look past that tip because some people love that tip. I could look past that tip if the color selection was better. So unfortunately, the Beautycounter concealer pen, the people who have bought it and like it, I love that they like it, but I do struggle to recommend it, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's one of those products that has to come with a little bit of a caveat. And so I'm really hoping Beautycounter updates that packaging and adds about double the amount of tones to go with it. But otherwise, you know, I had that blemish by my lip and a few more down here. The foundation on its own covers really pretty well, so I don't find that I have to do a ton of spot concealing. Obviously I could if I wanted to, but I do find that the foundation on its own actually has pretty good coverage. So back to products that I like from Beautycounter. This is their Bronze Glow Cream. They call it a highlighting stick. So if you had a really dark skin tone, this would be a really pretty illuminator on you. And then they also have a Rose Glow, which I actually think is more peachy or corally than it is really rose. And then they also have like a pearlescent one, but this one I love to bronze with. However, I do not like to put it directly on my face. I just struggle with that because I feel like I spend so much time blending it out. So I like to just sort of do a nice big fluffy, this is an Ego Tools stippling brush, and just sort of stipple the product on. And I just find that it doesn't disrupt my foundation as much, but sometimes I just like a little bit of like where the sun would naturally hit across the bridge. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and almost ruin my look by putting the liquid eyeliner on my left eye because this is my eye with an astigmatism. It's really hard for me to do eyeliner on camera with you guys at all, ever, just because of how poor my vision is, and I do wear contacts, but like this eye, it's like when I'm trying to look with this eye to do this eye, and I'm going across hand, it is super hard. So I didn't do a wing or anything. I just did a nice sleek line. I do like their liquid eyeliner, although I don't love liquid eyeliner in general because it's hard for me to work with. I'm starting to get really wrinkly eyelids and I'm really hangy and wrinkly over in my corners. So when I want to do a wing, I really have to like pull out all the stops.
But I just sort of stopped doing it because I'm never truly happy with how it looks. So that's probably why you guys don't see me doing that, but this is a nice liquid eyeliner. And I guess I can let you guys try to see me do it on this side. For whatever reason, I can always do this side so much nicer than my left side. Well, I know it is because I'm just dragging it across instead of having to go this way.
I want to just darken up a little bit more. I'm actually going to take this color up here called Cinnamon. It is a little bit shimmery on this really kind of little pencil brush. And just sort of deepen, yeah, and blend up that V just a little bit more. That'd be perfect. So while I was changing my battery and doing a couple other things, since I'm not contouring today because Beautycounter doesn't have a contour, and sometimes I will, if I want to make it really simple and easy, I will use suede to contour. So I just took what was left of my concealer and I just sort of cut out the bottom of my bronzer just a little bit, just to give me a little bit more definition. And I'm going to set under my eyes first with the Beautycounter Mattifying. Looks like this guy. I do really like this powder. You guys, I'm sure, have seen me use it. It is one of my go-tos. Really nice and sheer. Looks very natural on the skin. Even though I know it's called mattifying, I don't find that it is overly so. And you would not have to set everywhere. You could just set however it worked best for you, but sometimes I like to set with my smaller brush some of the places where I struggle a little bit more. And then I have two Beautycounter brushes I like to set my face with. You guys have probably seen this when I'm using my Wakiki Run from Ilia. And this is just a really nice, and I can't remember if this one's These I know are synthetic bristles. I think these are too. In fact, I think all of Beautycounter's brushes are synthetic bristles. So I'm just going to set the rest of my face. So I know we technically already bronzed with that cream bronzer, but just for sake of showing you guys, this is Beautycounter's bronzer in the color Surf. No, Dune. This one's Dune. Surf is the one that I have in my big compact that I usually use. And I'm going to put a little bit of this on just so you guys can kind of see. Obviously, I have plenty of bronzer on now, but on camera, you can almost always afford a little bit more. So it goes Dune, Surf, and then Cabana. And I do really like these bronzers. Very skin-like. So I'm just going to add just a little bit more so you guys can kind of, just for the sake of the video, put a little bit down here. Got that quarantine chin going on. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Okay, blush. We're going to use Nectar, of course. We use it on our eyes, so why not use it on our cheeks as well? And this is illuminating enough that you would be able to totally skip highlight, but we are going to do a little highlight anyway, because why not, right? This is such a pretty color. I feel like almost any skin tone could probably use this. It does have a tiny gold shift to it, like I mentioned earlier. So if you really are too cool tone that you can't really do any gold, then probably stay away from this. But otherwise, I think it's a very forgiving color. I think on dark skin tones, it would add just like a pop. And on fair skin tones, you can keep it sheer enough, or you can really build it up. Just a little right here. And then Beautycounter has two traditional highlighters that's always in their set. This is Topaz, a little too dark for me right now. And then this one is Halo, and this is a little too pink for what I got going on right now. Do I have a clean hand? But they're both gorgeous colors. And Halo really is probably forgiving enough that I could use it, but what I'm going to just do instead is use this beautiful color Ivory from this palette, because I do feel like this palette is versatile enough that, like I said, you know, I use suede for contour, and I can actually use suede as an eyebrow color too. But I'm just going to take a little bit of Ivory and highlight just right at those top, tippity top, a little bit right there, and then a little left over right there, and maybe even like the tiniest bit under there. So I threw on some mascara, and I actually used the Ilia mascara because I do not love Beautycounter's mascara. I would have probably used it just for sake of showing you, except for the ones I have are so old and dried up. But here is what they look like. Has a nice hourglass, natural bristle. I don't know if you guys will focus on that, but I find this formula to be very dry, so I find it to actually dry out pretty quickly. Now, some people love this mascara. I don't know what kind of eyelashes they have. I just find that my eyelashes are too like wimpy, that the brush with the dry formula almost just pushes against my lashes and pushes them out of the way instead of coating them. So I truly am the biggest fan of a synthetic bristle brush. I just am. Ilia has like the perfect kind of yeah, it has like that silicone bristles where I can actually get my lashes in between them. Same thing with my Thrive Causemetics. These are my two favorite mascaras. It's just really hard for anything to compare to them. I also do like the Cloven Hollow, and I like the Pacifica. I think it's the one in the white container, like the 7, it's like the one where the 2B twists. Anyway, some people absolutely love it, especially people who like a really dry formula, but I like a juicier mascara. So I think that that's one of those opinions that's kind of hard because it's very opinion based. So onto lipstick. So I thought that the color First Date would be really appropriate for the eye look we have going on right now. It is a true kind of peachy pink color. It is really pretty. One of my all-time favorites. Now, I would normally put a liner on with this, but I really wanted to give you guys like a true example of the color without altering it with a liner by any means. So this is the color First Date. This is in their like Constant collection, and this is one of their Color Intense formulas. And I almost forgot about brows. Today I'm going to use the brow gel in the color Light. And I really do love this brow gel. So what I like to do is actually start close to my arch and do my tail first. And really kind of concentrate the product there. And then go ahead and do the front part. And I like to just sort of comb up. Now, this is kind of a spendy product, but I really like the formula. I've recently tried the Thrive Causemetics and I'm really liking theirs too. But I actually find that theirs is almost a smidgen harder for me to work with. And I fall somewhere between their lightest color and their medium color, where the Beautycounter Light is truly like the perfect taupe for me. And I find that the Thrive one, I get a little bit more product on my skin easier, where I have just a little bit more control using the Beautycounter one. But if you needed a clear one, Beautycounter has a clear one. But if you wanted something lighter than this one, then I would recommend the Thrive Causemetics one, because I do still like it. But you know how you just have like, something's just your favorite and you don't really know why? That kind of is the feeling with that. So 2 products. I actually don't have the Beautycounter eyeliner pencil on hand right now, but I have 3 of their brow pencils. I'm not sure why I have so many. Like, why do I have so many? It kills me. I have all 3 colors. These are fine, but you have to sharpen them, and I just like never sharpen them, and they're always dull. I sharpen my lip liners, so I don't know why I can't get myself to sharpen a flippin' eyeliner pencil. But this are really, really, really stiff, and this one probably just needs to be sharpened down to, yeah. I was gonna say probably just needs to be sharpened down to where there's fresher product. That one's the lightest. Here's medium. Yeah, that one came off a little bit better. These are fine, but for their price, they're not my favorite brow pencil. I'm always just looking for an affordable brow pencil, and I'm really liking the Thrive ones. And they're kind of expensive too, but I just like, and they're retractable. This is the darkest one, right? Yeah. So they only have the 3 colors. I don't find that there's a huge difference between the 3 colors, and I think that these need to be reformulated as well. They're just not my favorite. So the brow pencils were fine. I just found that I kept going back to my e.l.f. pencil, which is $2, and I felt like I liked that so much more for $2 than for almost like $30. So it would be nice to see Beautycounter amp up their pencils as far as their eyebrow and their eyeliners go. And then I would love to see them do something amazing with a mascara. Like, I just feel like they have the ability to do it. I need them to do it. I need either, and they have, I have a mascara that's called Lengthening, but the Lengthening mascara does not really lengthen or volumize. The one that I showed you guys, this one is the Volumizing. Sorry, I should have clarified that in the beginning. But otherwise, this is the finished look. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope everybody is staying safe and well. And if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing or give it a like. Let me know if you've tried any Beautycounter products or if you've had your eye on any. I appreciate you taking time watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye everybody.